Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices, and you can sign up for product alerts. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going to be taking a look at my top 5 two-player games of 2022. It's been a great year. Some years I don't even have a whole list of these two-player games, but this year was a fantastic one, so here we go. Now before we get started here, I did want to give an honorable mention to a game called Canopy. This was a game I just stumbled upon at my game store, my local game store, and it looked awesome. It had vintage tray art, it was a two-player game, looked really cool. I bought it, it's awesome. But technically it wasn't a 2022 release. It came out in late 2021, like November-ish, December-ish. So it's not quite okay for this list, but since I didn't play it to 2022, couldn't talk about it last year, and I want to make sure to bring some attention to some of these smaller games that may be not well known to people. It's a game called Canopy. I'm not gonna go over in great detail here, but it is beautiful. It has a very interesting card sort of drafting mechanism where you're building up cards, doing set collection, getting abilities from animals, trying to have majorities. I'm trying to have the tallest trees. There's a lot of interesting game here that plays in about 20 to 30 minutes. It's a two-player. There's a variant that you can play with more than 2 players, but it's designed as a 2-player game. But if I won't go anymore. This is just an honorable mention, so Canopy, check that one out.
Number 5.
All right, this one is a 2-player abstract strategy game called Boop. Boop, B-O-O-P. It's about cats, and one of the cool things about this game is the box, you turn it over, and it's a bed. And I've seen boxes being used for part of the game boards before, but what I haven't seen before is an actually sewed quilt that is puffy. That goes on top, and that is the quilt of the bed. And it just feels awesome. It just brings you into the theme of the game. It's just fun because your cats, your kittens, you're putting them on the bed. They're jumping on the bed onto the quilt, and they're gonna, boop, move other kittens that are next to them out. And you're trying to get 3 kittens in a row. And when you do, they graduate to cats. And then you're trying to get 3 of your cats in a row to win. And it's really thematic because, like, you know, the kittens bounce other kittens, but they're not big enough to bounce the cats. It is a very simple game to teach. Place a kitten or a cat and they'll make things move. Get 3 in a row and you'll win. But it's very thinky, lots of different things to do there, but it's a really clever game. Boop from Smirk and Laughter Games.
Number 4.
This next one is a 2-player only game that was basically designed based upon a game that I loved, which was called Bumuntu. This is from WizKids game. Bumuntu and this game, it's an abstract strategy game where you're essentially moving your figure based upon what animal it's on. And each animal will have you move differently, depending on the animal. You might move straight, you might be able to move turns, you might be able to jump somewhere. You're doing different things. And you're moving to be able to try to get things and collect things. And you're doing this in this abstract manner, but the original game had a fluctuating market, which is amazing, but fluctuating markets don't work as well with 2 players. Right? So they figured out another way to do it where you can get these photography cards and these different other bonus cards that you can get for things that may or may not have already come out on the board. So there's a little bit of pressure luck there as well. But it's a really good game. I like the abstract nature of it. It does take a full play at least to remember what all the animals do. But once you get that down, there's only a small handful of them. But once you get that down, it's really clever. Like, you're trying to set yourself up. You're like, oh, I'll do this turn, I'll go to this one. And then from there, I'll go to this one to be able to get this. And it's clever to see, like, you're planning your movements ahead, but you're also planning on what you're gonna be getting somewhere else ahead as well. So some forward planning there. If you like sort of abstracted 2-player games with set collection, a little bit of pressure luck, this is one to check out. That's Yosemite.
Number 3.
This next one is, you can play with more 2 players, but it's a 2-player game abstract from Gray Fox game called Ragnaroks. Now this is designed by the same designer that did Santorini, and mechanism-wise and art-wise, it kind of feels like that as well. So in this game, you're simply moving one of your Vikings in a straight line, and then you're basically taking a rune and you're also placing it somewhere in a straight line from where you just landed. And these runes block things, so you're trying to basically like put yourself in areas of the board and cut off other areas of the board with the runes. And you're going to get points because at some point, there's only going to be one person in an area. At the end of the game, you'll get a point for every hex that you've sort of blocked in yourself with. So you're trying to create large areas, get yourself in there and shut it. But so is the other player. So there's lots of push and pull. There's lots of like, oh, if he goes there, I'll go here. But I really want to go over here. And there's a lot of different timing of like what you want to do. And much like Santorini, there's an advanced game, which I highly recommend you play, which is people get a special power. And even just getting one special power per game changes the game hugely. It could change your win condition. It could change the way you move. It could change what your opponent can't do. It could change all these different things that every game you play, because of the mix of powers, makes it feel different. But at the core, the game is super simple. So if you liked Santorini, you're probably going to like this one. It's Ragnarok's.
Number 2.
This next one is called Caesar Sees Rome in 20 Minutes. This is a follow-up to a game called Blitzkrieg, which was very popular a few years ago. Same designer, Paolo Mori. Same small game, about 20 minutes. Let me give you a 1-minute overview of how this works.
Caesar Sees Rome in 20 Minutes is a 2-player game where one's Caesar, one's Pompey. Over the game, you're going to be trying to control different areas around Rome. And when controlling areas, you're going to be placing your influence tokens, and the first one to place all of them wins immediately. Each turn, you'll have 2 tokens to choose from, and you'll be placing them on the corresponding spot, depending on the icon, and flipping it either way, giving you a certain amount of control in each of the adjacent regions. And it's sort of a game of chicken, because the last one to place, this kind is wild, will get the bonus token, which gives them different abilities. And these allow you to do all sorts of different things, like adding extra tokens behind your shield, or flipping opponents' types of tokens, or putting even more of your influence tokens out. But you're also fighting over Rome, which has the most places to place, but you'll actually get to place 2 of your tokens as well. So you're trying to tactically look around the board and see where are areas that you're going to win the total control to place these, and if you're adjacent to one of those, you get to place extra ones. There's also 2 mini expansions in there as well, and a solo mode.
Yeah, this game has a lot of clever mechanisms. I really liked Blitzkrieg, but I think this one's even better. When you think about a small, short, 20-minute game that's a thinky filler, this is it. You're trying to be the last person in a region to place tokens to get those bonuses. So it's a little bit of a game of chicken where you're going places. You're like, yeah, I don't want to be the second to last one to go there, because then they can go there and get the bonus. Sometimes your opponent might mess up, allow you to go there last, and you might be able to get the actual control of that. It's good to also control adjacent territories too, so you're kind of like working your way around. And you can only place tokens on specific spots based upon the icons, and you only have a couple tokens to look at. But then as you're getting things, you're getting these different bonuses, which trigger in different ways, and you're also trying to get Rome, which will get you these other bonuses, and then some of the bonuses allow you to get more points for every one you've gotten before that. There's also 2 little mini expansions in there. It changes the bonuses and the way certain things play. If you're looking for a 20-minute sort of abstracted 2-player area control game, and usually 2-player area control games don't work great, this one is awesome. If you're looking for that, Caesar Sees Rome in 20 Minutes is it.
Number 1.
Now, before we get to the headliner for this video, I wanted to let you know that if you like my content, you can now get exclusive content, as I just launched a Patreon campaign where you can see my first impressions on games days or weeks before the reviews, or even tons of games that never do get a featured review. You can vote on which games I'm going to review, watch me open packages from publishers as I guess what's in there, and you'll get access to my videos and an audio podcast of those videos a day before they go public. And if this sounds interesting to you, you can enjoy this exclusive content all while supporting me and the channel at patreon.com/GameBoyGeek. All right, so here we are, the number 1 2-player game of the year. This is a game that I got a chance to play at Gen Con in a prototype. And when it came in, I was super excited. I've reviewed it. I've done a lot of things. It is co-designed by my favorite designer, Bruno Cathala, teamed up with the original designer, Marc Andre, to create Splendor Duel. Splendor itself is a great game, and it works really well with 2 players. This is a game that is so good, I won't ever play Splendor 2-player anymore. I'm only playing Splendor Duel because it is so good. They did not overly complicate things, but they added a very interesting, abstract way to get your gems. So now you have another level of depth to look at things and go, oh, I want these 3, or I want these 2, and those other 2 are next to each other, I might be able to get those next. They've also added another resource now, pearls, which changes things. There's only 2 of them. You can hog them, stopping another player from getting those cards. There's this whole like press your luck aspect of like, well, no, it's kind of like the game of chicken, where you're trying to maybe not be the person to refill everything. Because if you refill the board, that's great because you're going to get all the first choice. But the other player gets a privilege which allows them at any time take any one gem off the board. You got that. So there's a lot of splendor involved. Cards now have special abilities. So you might get a card and go, oh, I get another turn. Just like in Seven Wonders Duel that Bruno Cathala co-designed. There's also nobles that you can get, but they also can get you points and or abilities. So you're doing that as well. Again, they've kept the core idea of Splendor there, but they've made it way more interesting. Abilities, abstract nature, it's phenomenal. When to refill, how to take the gems, new resources, new cards. It's awesome. If you liked Splendor and you often play it with 2 players, this is the biggest no-brainer. This game is fantastic. 2-player game of the year, Splendor Duel.
Game Toppers not only transforms your existing table to a high-quality gaming solution, they now offer full leg kits and dining cover solutions for the full table application. Paired with their amazing, thematic, premium stitch edge mats from noted board game artists like Vincent Dutray, collapsible cup holders, and really cool accessories, it's a complete system that upgrades every game you play. Go to GameToppersLLC.com or click the link below to late pledge for their latest Game Topper 3.5 Kickstarter campaign.